Have you ever noticed that the moment you stop giving someone your attention, their true character suddenly appears? When a woman becomes angry, bitter, or starts spreading rumors simply because you stop talking to her, she's revealing something she was desperately trying to hide from you. And what God is showing you in that moment could be the very protection you've been praying for. Her reaction to your absence is often more truthful than anything she ever said in your presence. Right now, someone is furious that you walked away, and the intensity of that anger is directly connected to what they lost access to when you left. This is not about ego or games. This is about God pulling back the curtain so you can see what was really there all along. This message is going to shake something loose in your spirit, because we're going to talk about the hidden motives, the concealed intentions, and the masked agendas that only surface when someone can no longer control the narrative or manipulate the connection. We're diving deep into what her anger is actually protecting, what she's terrified you'll discover, and why God strategically removed you from that situation before you invested any more of your time, energy, or heart. If you've been wondering whether you made the right choice by creating distance, if you've been second-guessing yourself because of the backlash, or if you've felt guilty for walking away, this word is directly for you. Welcome to God's Prophecy Message Channel, where we deliver divine messages that cut through confusion and bring clarity to your path. If you're new here, I want to personally invite you to subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications so you never miss a prophetic word that God has specifically for your season. These messages are not random. They're strategically released for those who are seeking truth, divine alignment, and the courage to walk in their God-given discernment. And if this message blesses you today, if something in your spirit witnesses to the truth being spoken here, I want to invite you to support this ministry. You can click the Super Thanks button right below this video or visit our Buy Me a Coffee link in the description. Your support helps us continue spreading these prophetic, life-changing messages to people all around the world who desperately need to hear them. Every seed you sow into this ministry comes back to you multiplied because you're investing in the kingdom work of bringing clarity and freedom to God's people. Before we go any further, I need you to do something that's going to activate your faith and position you to receive everything God wants to download into your spirit through this message. I want you to type in the comments right now, "I receive." Don't just watch passively. Engage with this word. Let your faith meet this message. When you type "I receive," you're making a declaration that you're ready for the truth, that you're open to what God is revealing, and that you're willing to see things as they really are instead of how you wished they would be. Go ahead and type "I receive" in the comments right now. Let's start with something you need to understand from a spiritual perspective. When you stop giving someone access to you, and their immediate response is anger, hostility, or vindictiveness, you're not dealing with someone who genuinely cared about you. You're dealing with someone who was benefiting from you. There's a massive difference between someone who misses your presence and someone who resents your absence. One grieves the loss of connection, the other rages at the loss of control. Proverbs 27 verse 6 says, "Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful." A real friend, someone who truly values you, will respect your boundaries even when they're hurt. But someone who was using you, manipulating you, or feeding off your energy will attack you the moment you establish a boundary they can't cross. Her anger is not about love, it's about loss of supply. It's about the fact that whatever she was extracting from you, whether it was attention, validation, financial support, emotional labor, or access to your gifts and calling, has suddenly been cut off. And when a manipulator loses their source, they don't reflect on why you left. They attack your character. They twist the narrative. They try to make you look like the villain so that they can maintain their victim image and potentially pull you back in through guilt. But God is opening your eyes to see that the very intensity of her reaction is confirmation that you made the right decision. If she was who she claimed to be, your absence wouldn't trigger rage. It would trigger reflection. Think about this carefully. Someone who genuinely loves you wants what's best for you, even if that means giving you space. Someone who was using you wants what's best for them, even if that means manipulating you into staying in something that's draining your life. The Bible tells us in 1 John 4 verse 18, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love casts out fear, for fear has to do with punishment, and whoever fears has not been perfected in love." When someone responds to your boundaries with threats, smear campaigns, or attempts to punish you emotionally, they're operating from fear, not love. They're terrified that you're going to see them clearly. They're afraid that once you're at a distance, you'll realize how much peace you have without them. And that fear manifests as anger because anger is often fear's most aggressive defense mechanism. What she's hiding is this: she never saw you the way she claimed to see you. You were never the person she said you were when she was trying to keep you close. You were a resource. You were a convenience. You were someone she could depend on for things she wasn't willing to give back. And the moment you stopped being available, her true nature emerged. It's like when Jesus cleansed the temple in John 2, overturning the tables of the money changers. The religious leaders weren't angry because Jesus disrupted commerce. They were angry because he exposed what was really happening in a place that was supposed to be sacred. Your life, your time, your energy, these are sacred. And when you remove someone who's been treating sacred things as transactions, they won't thank you for your discernment. They'll attack you for your boundaries. Here's what God wants you to know today. Her anger is actually his protection. Every harsh word, every twisted story, every bitter outburst is God showing you in high definition what you would have been dealing with long-term if you had stayed. Imagine if you had ignored the red flags, pushed through the unease you felt in your spirit, and committed to someone whose character only shows up when they can't have their way. You would have spent years trying to please someone who was never pleased because their issue wasn't with your actions, their issue was with your autonomy. They wanted control, and you chose freedom. And now they're furious because they can't manipulate free people. Psalm 37 verse 8 tells us, "Refrain from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself, it tends only to evil." Notice that the Bible doesn't say anger is always sin, but it warns us about where anger leads when it's not righteous. When someone is consumed with anger because you set a boundary, because you walked away from dysfunction, because you refused to be used, that anger tends toward evil. It tends toward destruction. It leads them to assassinate your character, to lie about your motives, to turn people against you, and all of that is God revealing to you the demonic assignment that was attached to that connection. You're not fighting a person, you're being delivered from a pattern. Let's talk about what her anger is specifically hiding. First, it's hiding the fact that she never intended to give you what you were giving her. Think about all the energy you invested. Think about the time you spent listening, supporting, showing up, being present. Now ask yourself, was that energy reciprocated? Or were you always the one carrying the weight of the connection? Her anger is hiding the imbalance she benefited from. She's mad because you figured it out before she could drain you completely. She's upset because you walked away while you still had something left to give someone else. And now she has to start over with someone new, pretending to be something she's not. And that exhausting cycle is your fault in her mind because you refuse to stay in your assigned role. Second, her anger is hiding her insecurity. People who are secure in who they are don't fall apart when someone exits their life. They feel the pain, they process the loss, but they don't rage. Rage comes from a deeper place. It comes from a wound that was already there before you ever showed up. You didn't create her brokenness, you just stopped managing it. And now she has to face herself without you as a distraction, without you as a scapegoat, without you as someone to blame for why her life isn't working. Proverbs 14 verse 30 says, "A tranquil heart gives life to the flesh, but envy makes the bones rot." Her anger might be dressed up as offense, but at the core, it's envy. She's envious of your peace. She's envious of your ability to walk away. She's envious that you have boundaries she doesn't have, standards she can't meet, and a connection with God that she hasn't cultivated. Third, her anger is hiding the fact that she saw you as a stepping stone, not a soulmate. If she's furious that you're no longer available, it's because she had plans for you. She saw what you could do for her, where you could take her, who you could connect her to, what you could provide, and none of that had anything to do with loving you for who you are. It was about using you for what you have. This is why discernment is so critical. The enemy will send people into your life who